DW Africa Link.
Let's talk about the Lake Chad Basin. That's a vital ecological and socio-economic region in North Central Africa. It includes parts of Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Nigeria with a significant water system. But the basin is facing complex challenges, from climate pressures to human activity leading to insecurity and a humanitarian crisis. In January, Nigeria hosted the 5th Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum under the theme Rebuilding the Lake Chad Basin. It focused on 3 pillars: security stabilization, youth and women empowerment, and ecological restoration. So how did things get that bad in the first place? And what more needs to be done to make the basin prosperous again? That's what's coming up. I am Eddie Micah Jr., and you are welcome to Africa Link, the podcast connecting you to the stories that matter.
Africa Link, every weekday here on DW.
So what's going on in the Lake Chad Basin? The challenges began in the 1970s to 1980s with severe droughts and environmental degradation, but systemic crisis escalated after 2009 due to the rise of Boko Haram. For more on this, let's bring in Dauda Mohammed Gombe, expert on humanitarian, development, and peace-building nexus with special focus on the Lake Chad Basin and the Sahel. Also with me is Mohammed Alamin, DW correspondent in Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Africa Link. Alamin, you've been covering this for a while. Tell me, how bad is the situation in the Lake Chad Basin for people living there?
The Lake Chad Basin faces multiple challenges that contribute to the ongoing insecurity and humanitarian crisis. First of all, the shrinking of the Lake Chad, which has diminished by about 90% since 1960 due to climate change and what experts say is overuse. That has severely impacted on the livelihood of millions of people who depend on the lake for fishing, agriculture, and livestocking. With the recent crisis of Boko Haram, the region has been facing a lot of violent extremist groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP, which have caused widespread violence, displacement, instability in the region. The conflict has resulted in the death of thousands. According to some official figures, over 40,000 people lost their life, and a lot of people were displaced, millions in short. So the region also faces severe food insecurity, with millions of people struggling to get access to food to survive. People that left their places to other places to live, they cannot farm, they cannot do anything. They depend on what they got from the donor agencies. This has seriously affected them. And climate change, the conflict and environmental degradation has also contributed to this crisis.
Right. So regarding the crisis, Alamin, give us an idea. How long has this been going on for? And, is it getting any better or is it even worsening?
The crisis started about 15 years ago. And there are some developments, I can say, because there are some places that IDPs were returned to their places and they started farming, but still there are some people that cannot go back to their own places because of the insecurity that is still bedeviling the area.
Right. Mr. Gombe, this is where you come in, because I would really love to know what has led to the major problem, which is insecurity in the Lake Chad area. How did we get here?
What actually led to this at the beginning was the shrinking of the Lake Chad Basin River. This happened as a result of so many factors, be it dams and other things, construction of dams, and other engagement by other countries that led to the water that flows into the Lake Chad goes down drastically. And also, that's why the LCBC, the Lake Chad Basin Commission, was established since the time of the first and only Prime Minister of Nigeria, Sabaka Tafawa Balewa, when the Lake Chad Basin Commission was established for the purpose of, working towards finding a solution that will help to get more water close to the Lake Chad River. And at that time, the level of the, shrinking or depletion was not up to the level now. But as experts saying recently, that it's up to 90% of the water of Lake Chad has been lost. So if you look at the kind of the setting of Lake Chad region, especially within these 8 territories or 8 states that were heavily affected by this Boko Haram, that is 3 states in Nigeria, 2 in Cameroon, 2 in Chad, and 1 in Niger, you will understand that it is like a setting of some group of people with some origin, inheritance, and everything. And in fact, another thing is the porosity of the borders. The borders are very poor managed, a lot of movement, lack of documentations, a lot more. Even though, like I said earlier, they are like the whole people within the region, like the same group of people. But yet, since they have become different countries, there is need of documentation, there is need of understanding what is happening along the borders, why has this happened, and why this. So these are some of the factors or some of the reasons that led to that. So people who are hungry, who are angry, who are left behind, what do you expect of them? When somebody offers them something that they feel is the alternative. When people have no access to everything, nobody can, protect them, their lives and their properties, what do you expect?
You're basically saying that this whole Lake Chad security issue started actually from the reduction of water from the Lake Chad River, just to be clear.
Yes, of course.
Okay, that had nothing to do with individuals per se. That was basically a climate change situation. Is that correct?
Yeah, it has to do with individual, and it is a climate change, but linked to individuals. If you remember earlier, I said that establishing artificial dams along the river channel by countries and by states who led to that is another part. Is the main factor that led to that, and because of that, many people lose their source of livelihoods. Okay. Because I was maybe planting or harvesting 10 hectares of land, the water no longer comes, and I need to spend a lot of money for me to harvest or to cultivate that land.
So help us understand how that then connects with the security situation, how insurgents somehow took over the Lake Chad Basin as a result of this.
Yeah, because these people were rendered helplessly, no support, no any attention to them, even though the Basin Commission was established, but because of the the bigger nature of the basin, so poverty has reached them to the level that's of no come. Social amenities were not there, nothing, and they have no alternative other than looking of what we can do. So these people who have something different in mind, the insurgent, came up with their idea and be able to sell the idea because they understood the problem these people are passing through. And they manipulated the people using the situation by telling them they are here to liberate them, they are here to salvage them, and if they are able to support them and to establish their own Islamic community, Islamic country, they will be able to get what they want, and they will become who they want to be and live a life with dignity. Because like I said earlier, completely within the basin, there is absence of social amenities, no functional health facilities, no good educational infrastructure, no rural network. Everything is zero even before the crisis. So this is a accumulation of years and years and years of neglect that lead to this.
Right. It's interesting what you're saying. So in a nutshell, basically human-involved actions led to people feeling that they are being ignored by their government or by their leaders. And then this is where Islamic insurgents stepped in and, tried to get people on their side as a way of trying to liberate them, although clearly that's also not happening. That's interesting. Mr. Gombe, thank you for that. But let me come to you, Al-Amin, to even go further with us in terms of, the insecurity aspect again. You earlier talked about Boko Haram and other militant groups engaging in the area. And you suggest that the situation is not getting any better. But does it appear that there's a strategy to try to tackle the security challenges in the area?
Yes, there is. There are so many efforts from various governments, other organizations. Recently, the President Bola Tinubu emphasized the need of comprehensive strategy that goes beyond the military power. And even the military are also going with two options. That is kinetic and non-kinetic methods of bringing down the insurgency. But the thing is still, the security situation in the region remains challenging, honestly. But there are some efforts to address it. They are doing their best. Even with this lectured forum, experts express their views on the way forward. But the main challenge now is implementing it. Will the forum implement the issues raised by experts? That is the question.
What are some of the issues being raised by the experts on how to deal with the situation in the area?
There are a lot of things that the experts suggest. Number one, there is need for looking at this issue from the ground. What is the root cause of this crisis? Number one, everybody knows that poverty plays a greater role on this issue. So they ask the government to do more on finding works, employment for youth, engaging them, going with them all the time, empowering them so that they will be doing something.
But Mr. Gombe, coming to you, why have governments left it, one would argue, a bit too late to actually try to tackle this? Has there been just, the inability to do it, lack of appetite to do it? Why has it been left for so long for it to grow this far?
Thank you so much for asking this a simple but a very difficult question to be honest. You see, one thing is always when things like this come up, we need to go back to history lane to look at how is the nature of our government usually be. Normally in Africa, you see, government are always good only in reactive than proactive measures. Things will be happening for quite a long time. Government have intelligence, have everything, but some issues that has to do with some things like tribal, religion, sentiment, and other things, political influence, will let government not act on time until it becomes obviously they have no option or the thing has gone out of hand. I hope you're getting me. So these are some of the things that led to government failure to always not, because for instance, if you go back to now to Northwest in Nigeria, what is happening there has been happening for quite a longer time of cattle rustling and other things of banditry until it get out of hand. Now government is trying to tackle the issue. And these people have gone far. The same thing to this Boko Haram, when you come back, when they started preaching, when they started doing what they are doing, I can tell you that Nigeria, for instance, Nigerian government have one of the best intel system, but lack of synergy, lack of cooperation, lack of partnership, which is the second point I'm trying to bring, apart from the first one I said, between different agencies of government and competition also play a critical role in this, which now I believe this administration through the Office of National Security Advice, seems like trying to overcome that, try to work to ensure that there is synergy between the security apparatus in the country.
So you're basically saying tribalism is playing a role.
Tribalism, religious, centric approach, and other sentiment, political sentiment that, okay, if we act, will these people vote for us? Where will the problem happen? Are we going to lose election? This also play roles.
So politics as usual.
Politics as usual. So the central government also play a role because they are not seeing this as an issue of national issue until it goes out of hand. They're saying that this is their own problem. Well, in Nigeria that state governments, subnational governments doesn't have power over security. So these and other factors led to where we are. Because had it been the government have earlier acted, work on that, we will not be here.
Mohammed Alamin, is there any sense that you, at least looking at the Nigerian government, that the Nigerian government is trying to do its part to contribute to peace and calm in the Sahel, and indeed along with its other neighboring countries making part of the Lake Chad Basin?
Yes, I can say yes. Nigeria plays a crucial role in the ongoing effort to improve situation in Lake Chad. But there are so many questions that one needs to be asked, because basically there should be a good relationship between the neighboring countries, and they will cooperate more so that they will achieve it. I heard some speakers from Niger, I heard a speaker from Chad that are saying they are not getting the kind of cooperation they expected from Nigeria. One of them even mentioned that if Nigeria cooperated very well as they are doing their own part, this thing will have finished in just a 3 months. There are accusations of some foreign countries aiding the insurgents. All these issues were raised by the representative of the neighboring countries. So one cannot precisely say Nigeria is really doing what it's supposed to do to bring down this insurgency.
So you're talking about the influence of foreign countries sort of fueling the ongoing conflict. I mean, is there any evidence to prove that that's the case? What can you tell us about that? And what has any other country got to gain by fueling such tensions in the region?
Honestly, there is no proof to that. One cannot, even the speakers that mention it, they cannot prove it. It's just a mere allegation. But I'm just telling you what is in their mind, what they perceived the situation.
Mr. Gombe, explain to us why it is important for the Lake Chad Basin to be secure and free from insurgents.
Okay, the Lake Chad Basin region is a region blessed naturally by Almighty God with abundant fertile land, including oil and so many things. It is a region that has 4 countries connected, that is Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and Cameroon. Basically, we are talking about 8 states or 8 territories, that is Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe in Nigeria, far north, another region in Cameroon, Hajj Lamis and Lak region in Chad, then deeper region in Niger Republic. These are like a group of people, like I earlier said, whom possess almost same ethnic background, religion, tradition, and everything. And there has been a lot of trades and engagement long over time. Lake Chad region is a region that also connects different parts of the world to other parts. Like, for instance, the Trans-Sahara trades also walk around that area. It also links up to Central Africa, down to east, up to the Europe and the rest. There are so many things like the fertility and the water there produce a lot of food, a lot of things. So the economic viability of the Lake Chad region make it a rich community for everything. And that's why there's so much interest about it. And if today Lake Chad is functioning to its maximum level, no African country will live with hunger. That region alone can feed Africa, and some experts are saying even the world in general. So that's why that region is very important, and it can provide all the necessary development that Africa wants and even the world. And like I said, it connects, and it is a very important place for economic development.
I'm going to give the final words to Mohammed Al-Amin. How optimistic are you and the people that you've been talking to on the ground, at least from the Nigerian side of the Lake Chad Basin? How optimistic are they that things will get better sooner rather than later?
There are certainly reasons to be hopeful about the SEPA Lake Chad Basin in the near future. There are some concerted efforts by the regional government and the international organizations and local communities. They are making strides toward addressing the complex issue. The key factor is there must be an increased regional cooperation. There should be a holistic adoption of a comprehensive strategy to address not only the security, but the underlying socioeconomic issues such as poverty, unemployment, environmental degradation in a positive step. So the regional stability, the regional strategy for stability, recovery, and resilience is an example of such approach.
Thank you very much for your contributions. Dauda Mohammed Gombe, expert on humanitarian development and peace building nexus with special focus on the Lake Chad Basin. Also, Mohammed Al-Amin, DW correspondent in Nigeria. Thank you very much for your input.
Get the stories that are shaping the continent here on Africa Link.
Good news is the global community is really trying to do something. The Lake Chad Basin Commission, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and their partners have now unveiled the Special Multi-Partner Delivery Fund, SMDF, and the Nexus Funding Facility to support the region. The aim is to enhance resilience, promote sustainable development, and advance peace across the region. One of the partners, Germany, has expressed commitment to the intervention. Anka Feldhusen from the Federal Foreign Office made these remarks at the unveiling of the Special Multi-Partner Delivery Fund at the Governors Forum.
This Governors Forum represents the unique opportunity to ensure that the new beginning in terms of adapted strategy and new support mechanisms are geared towards addressing these remaining challenges. It is absolutely vital that partners, governments, international organizations, civil society, and local communities come together under the roof of the regional strategy for the stabilization, recovery, and resilience of the Lake Chad Basin region. To succeed, we need to foster even greater coordination and collaboration across all levels. We need to take collective ownership of the strategy. I therefore call upon you all to support the Special Multi-Partner Delivery Fund and the Nexus Funding Facility that we are going to launch today.
That was Anka Feldhusen from the German Federal Foreign Office. The Lake Chad Basin exemplifies a dangerous conflict climate trap where environmental degradation and violent conflict fuel each other. Breaking this cycle requires a holistic approach that integrates water security, economic development, and counter-terrorism efforts. So what do you think? Please share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page, DW Africa. Listen to us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast from. And hey, don't forget to click follow and subscribe to our DW Africa YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. This show was co-produced and edited by Isaac Kaleji. I am Eddie Micah Jr. Thanks for listening.